Hey guys, my name is Rai, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the hotfix that got passed through onto live this week for Preservation Evoker. Earlier this week, we saw a hotfix go live that fixed an issue with Lifespark and Call of Ysera incorrectly interacting with other buffs. On beta, some Preservation Evokers realized that Call of Ysera was unintentionally increasing the value and effects of Afterimage after casting an empowered spell, meaning that previously you'd be able to first cast Call of Ysera through Verdant Embrace, and then have a 40% increase on the Afterimage effects from your Spirit Bloom, your Dreambreath, and your Fire Breath. Although that most of us that saw this interaction through logs and other beta testing figured that this was unintentional, there was also another hotfix that went live that actually affected Leaping Flames. The second interesting interaction here was the change to Leaping Flames. Previously in Dragonflight, we saw the ability for Leaping Flames to be consumed by Lifespark and increasing the Living Flames damage and healing by 50% for each Living Flame cast out within the combo, meaning that after your Fire Breath, you'd be able to empower 5 Leaping Flames up to your party or to targets, which would increase their damage or healing done by 50%. Blizzard has fixed this, and this is no longer the case, as only the first charge of Living Flame cast on a friendly ally or target is going to be empowered by Lifespark. Next, I wanted to talk about the effects of Call of Ysera and how it might affect our gameplay in Mythic Plus. Before, this wasn't something I was trying to make practice, as I know that this was unintended, but there was an increase to your Afterimage effects from Call of Ysera and Lifespark. So previously, you were able to hold on to these procs, cast a Spirit Bloom, and get a large amount of Living Flame healing after your Afterimage procs from a full charge Spirit Bloom. Now that this is fixed, this is no longer the case. So none of these effects will actually stack with Afterimage, meaning that you don't have to play around holding Call of Ysera or Lifespark to get those extra Afterimage effects. One unpublished change that's been recognized is that a reversion seems to be increasing the proc rate of Lifespark now. So previously, before, Lifespark had a very low proc rate, and it still doesn't seem to be the same as in Dragonflight Season 4, but Lifespark is proccing a lot more frequently than it was before this hotfix went live. This change is pretty favorable to Lifespark, as I think there are a lot of people considering that if this change to Call of Ysera and Lifespark were going to go live before, that this would kill Lifespark as a talent. Now that we have more Lifespark procs throughout encounters, that we're going to have more priority single target damage from Living Flame procs, and as well, this helps with triage healing a little bit too. However, I did want to quantify briefly the actual impact to M+. Now, I'm not going to talk in absolute quantitative values, but I did want to talk qualitatively about how this might impact your gameplay and how you might feel about it. First off, this is a throughput substantial nerf to Afterimage, and as well a throughput nerf to our AoE healing capabilities through keeping a Living Flames combo, gaining a Lifespark proc, and using it to full top our party. However, I don't think that this is dead at all. I think that still using interactions such as Echo into Lifebind and using that Leaping Flame proc with a Lifespark proc is still going to top your party. From my initial testing, it still seems like, though it's not as powerful as an Empowered Spirit Bloom, when you're trying to rotate buttons within that Lifebind window, I still think that this is very powerful. In addition, I do like that this increases the Lifespark proc rate. I find myself often using Lifesparks to quickly top somebody, use it with Lifebind, or as well, this is a great single target damage increase. Remember, rolling reversions in your party is not only going to give you grace period, but is going to increase your Lifespark proc rate. So, however, in a Mythic Plus, I don't think for most of you that it's going to change any part of your gameplay, but it is something you should be aware about, especially with regards to the Leaping Flames combos. In my final thoughts, I wanted to talk about how I feel personally about my gameplay and how this might affect my talents. I don't think that necessarily this is going to change any of the combinations that I've been practicing on beta, nor that it's going to change my talent options. I still think Call of Ysera, in addition to empowering it with Dreambreath, is still very powerful. For rot fights and encounters, especially compared with Double Time, Dreambreath is still a substantial amount of healing throughout your key. And I think that Lifespark in itself is still an exceptionally good source of damage and spot healing. I don't think personally that we're going to be dropping Call of Ysera for things like Titan's Gift, as I still do think that 40% increase on either Living Flame or Dreambreath can be a substantial single target or AoE heal for your group, and I don't think that any other talent compares to being able to make up for this value. In addition to this, just remember too that Call of Ysera plus Lifespark and Living Flame is still a very valuable combo. Although your first Living Flame is going to be the only one that gets the 40% increase in the buff, this is still, compared with Lifebind, going to full top your party pretty quickly, if not get them pretty close. So don't neglect this as a possible talent option. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope that some of this might alleviate some of the confusion you saw with this blue post. Remember that preservation I think is still in a very good state in my opinion, and this isn't going to really change too much other than maybe a little bit of our theoretical output. We still have very good damage, very strong healing capabilities, and with regards to Chrono Warden, I don't think it's really going anywhere. Perhaps with some bug fixes or some tuning with Flameshaper might see more value in M+, but I still think Chrono Warden from my experience is the go-to. But time will tell. We still have Heroic Week, other testing, and as well as other tuning that might happen on the horizon. Good luck with your gearing, good luck with your Heroic Dungeons, and I'll see you in the next video.